show you the show before we go to contest. After the COVID year, when we had to stop the show, which is like, well, you know how it was. The parents did not get to see the show, and that was heartbreaking. So I always want to make sure that I do a show before we go to contest so you can see about where we are. I'm considering this a dress rehearsal. They had 2 awesome performances yesterday in front of elementary, and then we weren't going to do high school and junior high, but they did so well that they said, let's just go ahead and do it. And that's the kind of kids we've got, that's the kind of families we've got. Go ahead and do it and just, yes, give it our best. And they were awesome both times. They were wonderful. We've got a wonderful stage crew. We've got wonderful support from the families and all the teachers and faculty. So there's no way we're going to fail. Even if we don't advance, they're going to have an awesome show Monday. So I wanted you to be able to see it. And then we're going to have another community performance later. Haven't put it on schedule yet, but community performance later. And I just can't wait for you to enjoy this show. And that contest, the stage manager would say something like, and this is May High School performing The Small World of Millie McIvor.
Quick, Toby. There's nothing here.
Well, Jonathan, what if someone comes? What do we say?
I don't know. But I can't stand on the street with this rip in my pants. I feel naked.
You look naked too, from behind anyway.
It's all your fault, Toby. We shouldn't have tried to cut under that fence. I'll never get to the baseball game on time.
I held the board high enough. You just didn't duck all over.
Is it very bad?
Jeez, whiz, Jonathan. You can't go to the ball game like that. Why, even no one saw you, you get all full of splinters. Man, that's what we get for sneaking off from the factory. What are we going to do?
I don't know. But I can't stand a street like this. If there's just some way to get these pants patched up.
What kind of place do you suppose this is, Jonathan?
I don't know. See if there's a sign outside.
Jonathan! It says Mrs. McIvor's dress shop! Come on, we can't stay here. Let's go.
But my pants!
Would you rather have a split in your pants or in your head? Come on, we can't stay here.
Wait, Toby. Maybe this was a good place to step into after all. If this is a dress shop, it must have needles and thread and that sort of thing. See if you can find a needle. You can sew me up.
Okay, but let's hurry. Oh wait, Jonathan, I can't sew. Let's go before someone comes.
Well, maybe they could sew my pants.
Oh, you wouldn't dare ask a lady.
No, I guess I couldn't. You'll just have to do it, Toby. Find some thread.
I don't see any. Come on, let's go before someone comes.
I can't. I'll just tear my pants. Just look at all the interesting things that have around here, Toby. Just think. Some people spend all their time in shops like these. Wouldn't it be nice working in such a nice, small shop like this? It's so different from the factory.
Yeah, it's so quiet.
It's not what I mean. It's just a different world. This world of people, not machines. Someday, if we save enough of what Mr. Murdoch pays us, we'll open a shop. Small one. Like this. We'll be people, Toby.
All I know how to do is make boxes for Mr. Murdoch. Anyway, Jonathan, we never saved enough money to buy a shop.
Sure we would. Someday. Why, I've worked for Mr. Murdoch for 3 years and saved almost $150.
Jeez. I've only saved $48.64. Gosh, Jonathan, it'll take 10 years. I don't think I can last that long.
Sure you can, Toby. Well, I believe you can do almost anything if you really want to. Just think how nice it would be to be independent, Toby. You can come and go as you want. Open up when you feel like it. Close when you want to. Want to go to a ball game? You go. There's no old Mr. Murdoch to tell you what to do. If this Mrs. McIvor wants to go see a ball game, she just closes up and goes. There's no sneaking away from an old box factory. Independent. What a wonderful word. There's a needle. Now see if you can find some thread, and we can soon get out of here.
I guess we could become tailors, Jonathan. Here's some thread.
Well, here's your chance to find out. As soon as I get this needle threaded, that is.
Like old Mr. Giovanni, the tailor. Come into my shop. I'm measure you all over. A fine suit to clothes I'm make you. Would you like the stripes to run up and down like a spaghetti or around and around like a macaroni? How's that, Jonathan? Do I sound like a tailor?
Sure, Toby. You sound like a tailor. Now see if you can sew like one. Fast tailor, Toby.
Jonathan, maybe it's best if you took off your pants.
Off? In here? Don't be crazy, Toby. What if someone were to come? Now hurry.
Well, all right, Jonathan.
Ow! Toby, you numbskull. You're supposed to sew the pants, not me.
Well, I'm sorry, Jonathan. I can't tell where the pants stop and you start. I guess I won't make a very good tailor after all.
Well, try again, but be careful.
Come, Lizzie. We must hurry and finish this order for Mrs. Gifford. She'll be here soon. Yes, so Mrs. McIvor, I'm coming.
Jonathan, we shouldn't be here.
Hurry, Toby. Hi.
Did Mrs. Gifford say 2:15, Lucy?
2 o'clock, ma'am. She said about 2.
Oh, I'm afraid we won't be ready on time. It seems as if we always have a deadline of some sort. If only Mrs. Gifford were a personal friend, as well as a good customer. I just have to ask her to wait. But she's so unpredictable.
Did Mrs. Gifford buy this hat too, Mrs. McIvor?
No, Lucy, only the little blue one. She said she may pick out another this afternoon. And, Lucy, don't let me forget to put the organdy dress aside for Mrs. Hornbuckle. She said she may be in today, too.
Yes, ma'am. But I don't think Mrs. Hornbuckle ever knows what she wants. She's such a peculiar woman.
Well, I know, Lucy, but we'll start with the organdy. There's no telling where we'll go from there.
Especially if she brings Mr. Hornbuckle. He's a pincher.
Oh, what?
A pincher. He always tries to pinch me.
Well, just ignore him, dear. I believe Mrs. Hornbuckle can handle him.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I think she can too.
Oh, me. Don't ever go into business, Lucy. It's so confining. When you work for somebody else, when you're through, you're through. But instead, I'll be here all evening working to get things ready for tomorrow. If only Mr. McIvor hadn't died so young, I certainly wouldn't be doing this. My, he was hardly in the prime of life. It seems such a shame. I wish you could have known him, Lucy. He really was a fine man. Well, at least this passes the time, I guess. The widow can't expect much more.
Oh, but aren't you happy, Mrs. McIvor?
Oh, I don't know that you'd call it being unhappy, Lucy. But mine is such a small, small world. I long for the big world outside our little shop. If I had it all to do over again, I'd go into something like, well, politics.
Oh, Mrs. McIvor, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. Why, Lucy, that's a big world. I travel all over the country and make speeches and do just as I pleased, like the politicians do. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, a vote for Millie McIvor is a vote for the end of the dress shop. We've got to put a stop to the dress shop. Widows, arise from your downtrodden ways. Don't let a business ruin your days. If it's real freedom you want and a carefree life, close up those shops and end all your strife.
Oh, Mrs. McIvor, I'll vote for you. When do we go into politics?
We, Lucy? Well, we don't go into politics until Mrs. Gifford's order's ready. Now, fetch me a needle and thread and let's get some flowers sewed onto this dress so I can get it packed.
Yes, ma'am. I left one right here on the counter. Here it is. Mrs. McIvor!
What is it, dear?
A man! There's a man behind the counter!
Oh, man. Nonsense, Lucy. Quit playing now. We're not going into politics and Mrs. Gifford will be here.
But Mrs. McIvor, really, a man.
Lucy, we've never had a man under the counter. Why, my stars! It is a man. You are a man, aren't you? Now come right out of there. We'll have no such thing in this shop.
Jonathan Crooker, ma'am.
Jonathan Crooker, indeed, is it? And just what were you doing under my counter? Lucy, call Officer Murphy.
Wait, Miss McIvor, we can explain. we were just shopping for a dress.
We? What do you mean we, Mr. Kirker? Don't tell me there's someone else here.
Well, I'd rather not.
Toby Evers, ma'am.
Oh, how many are there?
Miss McIvor, we can explain. There are only two of us, and we were just interested in your shop and stopped to look around. Isn't that right, Toby?
Yes, to look around at your dresses and everything.
Just looking around, were you? And just what did you expect to find under my counter? Underwear?
Jonathan, let's go.
You'll do no such thing as you've explained your presence. Oh my land, Mr. Crooker, stand up!
Oops.
You don't need a dress, Mr. Crooker. What you need is a new pair of pants.
Well, gosh, Miss McIvor, your shop really is interesting, but, well, my bridge is ripped and I just couldn't stand a street like that. Can I, Miss McIvor?
Oh, well, of course not.
Lucy! Well, I sympathize with your problem, Mr. Crooker, but that's no excuse for hiding under my counter and eavesdropping.
But we really weren't eavesdropping, Miss McIvor.
Well, you heard us talking, didn't you?
Well, yes, but we couldn't help that.
Then you were eavesdropping, Mr. Crooker.
Yes, ma'am. But since you have thread and that sort of thing here, you thought maybe you could sew my pants? Maybe?
Here? In a ladies' shop? Mr. Crooker, don't be absurd.
But Miss McIvor,
See what I told you, Jonathan? You should have never come in.
but I can't go out with my pants like this. Miss McIvor, if you won't mend my pants, I shall have to stay in shop until dark. You can't send me out half naked.
Now see here, Mr. Crooker.
Mrs. McIvor, Mrs. Gifford will be here at 2.
Oh, my stars.
Public shop, Miss McIvor. I have a right to be here. Toby, sit down.
But Jonathan, the baseball game.
I can't go without my pants. Sit down.
Yes, Jonathan.
Lucy, fetch me a needle and thread. Much thread.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss McIvor. You're very nice.
Well, I can't have you cluttering up my shop for the rest of the afternoon. I have customers coming. Now, Mr. Crooker, take off your pants. Oh, my goodness.
Take off my pants?
Well, certainly, Mr. Crooker, I can't sew your pants from the outside, you know.
Oh, thought you could.
Well, I guess you wouldn't make a very good tailor either, Jonathan.
Mr. Crooker, give me your pants or leave.
Here's your sewing box, Mrs. McIvor.
Thank you, dear. Mr. Evers, you may hold this counter cover up and make a screen for your friend. Lucy, never go into business. It's like slavery.
But Mrs. McIvor, what if somebody should come?
You keep an eye on the door. I don't think this will take too long, and I don't expect anyone before Mrs. Gifford. Thank heaven she's never on time. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lucy.
Yes, ma'am. But please hurry, Mrs. McIvor.
Toby, take my pants.
I can't. I'll drop the screen.
For goodness sakes, Lucy, take his pants.
Me? Mrs. McIvor?
Yes, Lucy, you. He's not going anywhere without his pants. Now go get them.
Where are they, Mr. Hooker? Here they are.
Thank you. Now please finish this bustle on Mrs. Gifford's dress so I can get rid of our gentleman callers.
Thank you, Miss McIvor. You did rather intrude, I guess.
Well, it was a rather unusual entrance, Mr. Crooker. Let's put it that way.
May I, sit down, Miss McIvor?
Perhaps you'd better, Mr. Crooker.
Toby, sit down.
Huh? Oh, yes, Jonathan.
Here, you're going to a baseball game this afternoon. I've never been to a baseball game. I'd love to go, but I just can't run off and do it.
Yes, you can, Mrs. McIvor. Just run off and do it. Oh,
Yeah.
does.
Yes, Christy Maxton's pitch day, and he...
Jonathan.
Careful, Mr. Crooker, you're forgetting yourself.
Mrs. McIvor, it's Mrs. Gifford. She's coming here.
Oh, now what am I going to do? How am I going to explain your presence?
Maybe we can hide again, Miss McIvor?
Please do.
Me too, Mrs. McIvor.
Yes, both of you.
Thank you. Why, really, McIvor? You should be more careful, my dear. I almost caught you.
Jenny, caught me at what?
Why, working, dear. I saw you putting things out of sight. It's on for a business proprietor to be cleaning up her shop, especially a lady.
Well, you know how much there is to do. Is it 2 o'clock already?
It's past 2, Millie. Now don't tell me you don't have my new dress ready. I did so want it tonight.
Oh, it'll be ready in just a minute, Jenny. We've had a slight, interruption this afternoon. Lucy, Mrs. Gifford is here. Hurry with her order, dear.
This is new, isn't it, Millie?
It's, not for sale. It's, something special.
I'd like to see the dress before you pack it. Do you have it over here in the closet? I must say, Millie, you're not yourself today. I expect you're overworking again.
Well, I have had a rather hectic day. But your dress isn't in the closet. I was just getting ready to pack it into that dress box.
Mrs. McIvor!
No, Lucy, but Mrs. Gifford's cape is the blue one.
But Mrs. McIvor, the box! Why, Millie McIvor, how quaint! My dear, how very metropolitan of you. Don't tell me you're also a haberdasher? Or are these yours, Lucy? No, ma'am.
They're, friends. I'm repairing them.
Oh, goodness knows they need it.
I don't understand how they got into your dress box, Jenny. Lucy, why don't you show Mrs. Gifford our new shipment of dresses?
Huh?
You know, dear, the, new shipment?
Oh, I don't think I'd care to today, Millie. What new shipment, Mrs. McIvor? Oh, the new shipment. Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Gifford, we have some lovely things. No, thank you, Lucy. I'm really not interested. Just get my order together, please. My goodness, pants!
No, go with her, Jenny, and try a few things on. You needn't buy anything, and your order will be ready in 10 minutes. Keep Mrs. Gifford busy, Lucy. So she won't get bored, of course. All right, Mr. Evers, get out of my shop.
But Jonathan doesn't have any breeches.
Well, he can't stay here.
Well, he can't go without his pants.
Well, he can't stay here without them either.
Millie, please don't forget that nice little white scarf.
Oh, now, don't you worry about a thing, Jenny. Just make yourself at home.
Well, I wish I could. Lucy, dear, what's gotten into you? But you haven't seen everything, Mrs. Gifford.
Jonathan.
Quiet, you.
Sorry, Mrs. McIvor. Hurry, Jonathan. Please hurry, Mrs. McIvor.
I am hurrying.
Are you almost ready, Miss McIvor?
Well, I've sewn better seams in my time, Mr. Crooker, but at least this will get you out of my shop. Now, you and Mr. Evers must go.
Please hurry, Mrs. McIvor.
Millie, I need my purse. Have you seen it? My, there are those pants again. Millie, just what kind of a shop are you from? Please come, Mrs. Gifford.
Not yet, Jenny dear. We're not quite ready. All right, Mr. Troublemaker. Get your friend out of that closet and get out of my shop.
Quick, Jonathan.
Thank you, Miss McIvor. You'll never know how much. Tell me, thank Miss McIvor.
Yes, we certainly.
There's no time for that. Just get dressed and get out.
Millie McIvor, you clever thing. You do have a man. 2 of them. I might have known. The Merry Widow. They're just friends. Where did you come from? Oh, Millie, you've been holding out on me. How long has this been going on? Oh, Mrs. McIvor, you've been discovered.
Lucy, for goodness sakes, what a thing to say. Jenny, I can explain. The gentlemen were just on the way to the baseball game and...
To the baseball game. Come on now, Millie. Surely you can do better than that.
But Jenny...
Don't be silly, dear. There's no need to explain why it's perfectly enchanting. Where did you come from? Oh, Millie, you've been holding out on me. How long has this been going on?
Jenny, Mr. Evers and Mr. Crooker are total strangers.
Oh, Mrs. McIvor, it's Mrs. Hornbuckle. She's coming here.
Oh, my land, quick hide!
Good afternoon, Mrs. Hornbuckle. Mr. Hornbuckle.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Hornbuckle. Please, come in and be seated. You know Mrs. Gifford, I believe.
I suppose we've met. Oh, yes. So nice to meet you again, Mrs. Hornbuckle.
How do you do?
Sit down, Chester.
Yes, my dear.
Jenny, I'm terribly sorry about your order, dear. Why don't you just come back another day when we're not so, busy?
Oh, I wouldn't think of leaving Millie, my dear. It's just, such an interesting shop, Don't mind me. Go right ahead. I wouldn't leave for anything.
Come, Mrs. McIvor. We came to see some dresses. Pay attention, Hornbuckle!
Lucy, run and get the organdy dress for Mrs. Hornbuckle.
Yes, ma'am.
We have 2 or 3 very interesting things in our shop today.
My, I should say so.
Mrs. Gifford means that she's seen all of our latest merchandise.
I certainly have. At least I hope that's all.
This came just this week. I've saved it for you.
Don't like it.
But Mrs. Hornbuckle, this is your favorite color.
Don't make any difference. It ain't my style. What else you got, daughter?
Oh, you'd be surprised, Mrs. Hornbuckle.
What'd she say, Chester?
Well, I don't know, Hester. I wasn't listening.
Well, if you listen as hard as you look, you might learn something, you numbskull. What else you got, lady?
Lucy, run and see if we don't have something different for Mrs. Hornbuckle. It seems as if we still have the one with the little pearl buttons and the ruffle.
Yes, ma'am.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance to the young lady.
Oh, I believe she can find the dress, Mr. Hornbuckle.
Sit down, Hornbuckle. Haven't you got anything over here I can squeeze into, Millie McIvor?
Well, these are hardly your size, Mrs. Hornbuckle. We usually keep our smaller dresses on the stands. They look a little daintier,
You saying I dainty? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, Mrs. Hornbuckle. I just mean that you're a mature woman, and these are for girls,
What's in your closet?
Oh, we don't have anything in there that you'd be interested in, Mrs. Hornbuckle. These are our more, masculine things,
Oh, you mean like them pants?
Pants? What on earth are you referring to?
Oh no, I saw them pants right there just a minute ago.
Mrs. Hornbuckle, please have a chair. Lucy has a new dress for you. Lucy, please have a chair. Please have a chair.
I saw them pants right there just a minute ago. Aha! There they are! And now they got a man in them. Hornbuckle, there's a man under that table, you fool! Millie McIvor, you got a man under that table, you know that? Come out of there, you!
My word, I say, come out of there, you!
I'm going to shove you right in here, lady! Come out of there, you!
Toby, run for your life!
Wait, fire! There's another one! Get him, Hornbuckle!
Enchanting! Oh, a heart attack.
You ain't gonna let him get away, are you?
She knew they was there all along. You ought to
be ashamed of yourself, Millie McIvor. A widow like you carrying on in broad daylight.
Please, Mrs. Hornbuckle, you don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. I ain't that old.
Naughty, naughty, Mrs. McIvor. Naughty, naughty.
Let's go, Hornbuckle. And don't you ever think I'm coming back to this shop, Millie McIvor.
Naughty, naughty.
Naughty, naughty, Millie McIvor.
Well, I can't say you helped at matters any, Jenny Gifford.
Oh, dear, I didn't intend to. It was just so exciting. Why didn't you just explain to her, Millie?
Explain? To that whirlwind? Jenny, don't be ridiculous. Besides, who would believe it? The whole thing was preposterous.
Indeed it was. We simply must do it again.
No, thank you.
My, what an interesting little shop. Well, dear, I really must be running along. Don't worry about Mrs. Hornbuckle. I'll set things right with her. She'll be back. And I guess I forgive you for not having my dress ready. I'll get it tomorrow. This was really worth the wait. Millie, my dear, don't be so concerned. We all need a little diversion.
Diversion? For heaven's sake, Jenny!
My, we mustn't be stuffy with one another.
Jenny,
Millie, I learned a long time ago that one can't just sit around waiting for things to happen. One has to nudge them a little.
Now see here, Jenny Gifford. Mr. Crooker and Mr. Evers are total strangers to me.
Total strangers. Well, so much the better, hey, Millie? Well, dear, I really must be running along. Oh, and by the way, happy nudging.
What next? First, those two tear up my shop. Now, Jenny Gifford thinks I'm a married widow. And on top of that, those two ran away with one of my dresses. They did look so ridiculous, though. Jonathan Crooker, in a dress.
Oh, Mrs. McIvor, are you all right?
Oh, I'm all right, Lucy, but I fear our Mr. Crooker may be some time recovering from that thrashing Mrs. Hornbuckle gave to him.
My goodness, I hope she didn't hurt him.
No, I hardly think that any more than his pride was damaged, Lucy. Now get a room. This place looks like an old rat's nest.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. McIvor? Mrs. McIvor?
Go away.
Well, you brought your dress back, Mrs. McIvor.
Thank you. Now leave it and go away.
Oh, Mr. Crooker, are you all right?
Lucy, take the dress. The gentlemen were just leaving.
Thank you.
We're sorry if we caused you any trouble, Mrs. McIvor. We didn't mean any harm.
Harm? Oh, no, Mr. Crooker, no harm. You tear my shop upside down, run off my customers, ruin my reputation, practically steal one of my dresses, and yet you say no harm.
But Mrs. McIvor, it was just an accident.
Toby Evers, you are an accident.
We're like you, Miss McIvor. Just think, if I hadn't ruined my pants, we never would have got to know you.
Yes, just think.
Mrs. McIvor, will you do us a favor?
Again? No, I shall not.
Ask her, Jonathan.
Miss McIvor, we'd be very pleased if you and Miss Lucy would accompany us to the baseball game. There's still time.
Oh!
Baseball? Mr. Crooker, I told you before that I can't be running off to baseball games. I do have a business here to run, despite the almost insurmountable obstacles.
Well, I can see you certainly don't have an easy time with Miss McIvor, but you know, the world in this shop really isn't small at all.
That's what you think, Mr. Crooker. But how do we make our world what it's not? Tell me that.
Well, you can't really, I guess. You might just say it's all in your point of view.
That's it. It's just all in your point of view.
Oh, Mr. Evers, you say the nicest things.
And where's your point of view, Mr. Evers?
At the baseball game.
Miss McIvor, I know just a thing. A baseball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I ever go back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
But Mrs. McIvor, what about the shop?
Oh, hang the shop, Lucy. What you need is a new point of view.
Oh.
take one step down. Yeah, now we can make sure we get the second row.
Yeah, better.
Is that good?
Is everybody good?
Everybody got theirs? Okay.